Okay, we are live. So,
Awesome.
hello.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Sandy. And
And this is WordStitch.
so,
Yeah.
hello if you are joining us for the first time, second time, 10th time.
Thank you
And
for joining us. Please join us every time.
and if you're not familiar with what we do here, basically we are a virtual write-in. So we talk and then we write for a set period of time. So we have a 10-minute sprint, a 25-minute sprint, a 30-minute sprint, and another 10-minute. I always have to look at that every single time. But you will not, because we will tell you exactly how much time you have, and we'll give you prompts as well, so you can get lots of writing done.
That's pretty much the only thing that I ever remember. Hey, are we listed? I guess we're just going with this. We're listed as December 3rd, but that's okay.
I think I can fix that.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Yeah.
If you think it's December 3rd, I hate to tell you, but you're already a week behind, and you will never, you cannot come back to December 3rd, 2018. It's already gone. Yeah.
I've been slacking on scheduling these things.
It's okay. I've not been slacking on the caffeine, so I have no idea what's going on right now, except I'm going to write. What time is it? It's 4:02. We've just started.
Yes. But let's talk about what we're writing. Let's talk about our projects.
That's what I was going to say before you stole my thunder.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. Sandy, what are you working on?
I am working on a, something really weird just happened. I'm working on a Christmas romance, a sweet Christmas romance, and also on the YouTube channel right now, which is doing very wonky things for me.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
It's one of those days.
Yours is sweet Christmas romance. I feel like it's important that you add the fantasy element to it.
See, this is something I take issue with. You think mine is fantasy because it takes place at the North Pole.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, but the North Pole isn't real. I mean, it's real, but there's no such thing as elves. The North Pole is an iceberg, basically. I feel like there's no land up there. I could be wrong about that. Don't fact check that. I know it's not like the South Pole, which definitely has land, though. I feel like there's no land. I feel like it's all ice there. And I'm not trash talking. I love that fantasy element in yours. It's just that, I don't know, when I think of Christmas romance, I think of Hallmark movies. And I feel like there's never fantasy elements in that. But you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Unless it's like a prince.
Yeah, no, the
like
prince is...
that fantasy, but they're not treated as fantasy. Like, everything in it is real. They've just made up a kingdom.
Yes, that's true. I think that is as much fantasy as the North Pole, personally. But and I have, by the way, just corrected our date. So if that has not shown up, it is December 10th, guys. But no, I don't know. I mean, look, like, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm gonna stick to this non-fantasy belief.
I mean, you are welcome to stick to your story. It's fantasy. Or fairy tale? No, because that would be, oh, hey, it's 4:05. I can stop rambling.
That's good, because some little kid watching is worried that Santa Claus isn't real right now. So.
Parents, if your children are watching this show right now, I recommend you stop that.
Because we will spoil Christmas for them.
If you are worried that I'm telling you that Santa does not exist,
it does. He does.
Yeah, but also you should stop watching. If you already know definitively the answer to whether or not he exists, you can keep watching because you're old enough.
That's
okay.
fair.
So it is 4:05. We are going to do a 10-minute word sprint. You're just going to write or edit or whatever you're doing right now as much as you can in the next 10 minutes. No distractions, no Google. It's great. We do have a theme for this. If you are writing, and I believe the theme in honor of the devastation that is the Carolinas right now, Make a blizzard. Was that
That's it.
right? Is that what we went with? Good,
Yep.
because I think I've forgotten literally everything we've ever talked about up until this point. So that might be the only one that I can introduce. But there is your 10-minute timer, and we are going to begin now.
Okay. We are going to begin as soon as we. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, beginning now. Okay, we are back.
We are back.
Yes. So how'd you do?
I don't know. I entered this with somewhere in the 200s. I'm writing all of this on WattPad right now.
Oh,
Um, just because I had been writing some of it yesterday on WattPad because I didn't feel like carrying my computer around. And so I've continued with that. But so I had like 200 and some yesterday,
nice.
and now I have 400 and some.
So you had
So
200 and some today.
yeah, I've written somewhere between 100 and 300, I guess.
That is fine. I am only at 112, although I'm really happy with those 112 words. Like this is the Christmas non-fantasy story that I'm writing is so joyous.
Why? Okay. I have to know, why do you not like having the fantasy tag on it? Or is this just like a joke that we're running? Because I'm okay with if it's a joke that we're running. But I'm wondering if you actually dislike having the fantasy tag on it.
Okay, so it's a joke, right? But I do think that in the spirit of Christmas, I should not consider a Christmas story about the North Pole to be fantasy. Okay, because come on. But also, I think the truth is that fantasy implies like wizardry and I don't know, kingdoms and
So I feel like
it's not folklore. This is folklore.
this is true, but the thing with fantasy is that, oh gosh, I don't know why it was so loud about whatever it's doing. What? Don't mind me. I feel like the thing with fantasy is it's kind of a catch-all tag. So there's not a better one. How about if we put it in the category of speculative fiction?
I don't know what that means in real life, so that's fine.
It
I,
is the umbrella that sci-fi and fantasy both fall into.
oh, okay, then
That they're
yeah.
not real world scenarios, or there are elements in them. So I guess some horror, yeah, horror straddles the line. But it's a story that has elements that are like impossible based on what we currently believe of the world.
Oh, then that's what I write all of the time. But we can't call it speculative fiction. That has an even worse implication than the fantasy tag. Like,
It's an umbrella tag, and the thing is that, like you said, most people don't know what it means.
mm,
Um, but like, so like fairy tales fall under that as well. And then,
huh.
or what if we called this a portal fantasy?
It is totally a portal fantasy.
It is
Yes, it is.
100% a portal fantasy.
Yes, I'm good with that. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't like an actual like
Problem.
hatred of the tag fantasy. Which
No.
I know that you don't hate the tag fantasy because you write fantasy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Actually, I mean, it's something I've been kind of thinking about today because of the story that I just self-published. Tagging your story on like Amazon or even Ingram Spark and categorizing it, that is so hard to do because you only get like a couple categories. And what do you fall into? Do you fall into fantasy royalty, fantasy fairy tale, fantasy dystopian, sci-fi dystopian, sci-fi thriller? Like you could only pick a few, and almost always it doesn't quite fit. And somehow the books with like real publishers always are tagged perfectly right, like as if they've gotten in with Amazon. That makes it easier. That is a tech tip I would love to, like a tech secret I would love to figure out, but
Yeah,
I think it's
but
beyond us.
We're not smart enough. Like I don't understand. Like this is so we've been. I don't know if I'm sure that we have talked about this before, but we have recently forayed into Wattpad. If any of you are watching this and are thinking that we have misguidedly thought that this will help our actual writing careers, we don't believe that. So don't think that we're in Wattpad for like the monies, because we're not. But so we're putting the stories that we're writing right now, the Christmas romances, on Wattpad, just kind of as a for both of us to read each other's stuff, and also like if we pick up readers, that's cool. If we get some feedback on it, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if we don't, it's no big deal. But like this is another area where those tags are everything. And I don't get it. I don't get where these stories, some of these stories have like 3 tags on them and don't seem to have anything to do with anything, and yet they're getting millions of reads. I've got like 15 tags on mine and nobody will click on it.
I think maybe you have to start with something flashy, like get people into your story with something that's like a little risque, and then gain followers, and then you have followers, so people. I mean, it's very much like Amazon in some ways.
Wait, so are you implying that I should publish my smut there and then see if somebody will read my sweet romance? Because I already have smut on there?
I think maybe you should publish a Dirty Santa kind of story. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. But I do think that that's kind of how it works. I think that you publish something like sort of really super popular, right? So like you were writing about Harry Styles when like that was big, and then you got like 3 years older and you started writing something else, but you had all those followers. So now like your real fiction is being followed because you're totally non-serious fiction. But it is. Okay, so I've been thinking about how this works, because I'm more comfortable in fanfiction.net, and I have a comparison. If any of you out there are lawyers, so there is a difference in how these sites work. Like WattPad,
lawyers?
Yeah. So in the legal community, there are like 2 main ways to search for cases. There's this thing called LexisNexis. It's like a subscription thing.
Okay, I get where you're going now.
Yeah, and then
just so you know, LexisNexis I've had to use in pursuit of my physics degree as well. So
yeah. So you know, so I think a lot of people know LexisNexis. I don't think as many know Westlaw, because that's very like law related, and that's the difference. Okay, so like Westlaw is really specific to law. It has a really good digest, and the digest is this amazing browse catalog. So if you want a case, just go to the browse catalog. You can find it easy. LexisNexis, it's more general. So you've got to search. You've got to be able to use like good search words. And that, I think, is the difference between WattPad and something like fanfiction.net. On WattPad, you've got to be really good at keyword searching. Fanfiction.net, it's a great browse catalog. And it really gives you an interesting choice as a writer. Like, fanfiction.net's pretty specific. You can't write anything original, but your people will find your stuff. Wattpad, you can write original. People aren't going to find you unless you're real good with those search words. So
our next war is in a minute. But really quickly, just a really quick question for you. Have you tried AO3?
Yes, I find it to be a weird combination of the two. Okay. Like, I don't dislike it. I think I've published some stuff on there. The comment function is never as good, I think, as either of the other sites.
I only asked because I had a horrible experience on it, but it didn't have anything to do with the actual site itself. So I'm always curious what people, because I know people that like rave over it. But because of what happened with me, I will never go anywhere near it again. Yeah. But it's 425.
It's 425. Yeah.
We are on our next war.
Yes. So, okay. So our next one, this one was yours. Do you want to do the prompt? Do you remember it?
This one is, I'll find it in like 2 seconds. It is what? Include your character's zodiac sign. If your character doesn't have a zodiac sign, it's a really good way to like have like cheap character building in it. So I always recommend giving your character a zodiac sign. I also always recommend giving your character a Myers-Briggs association, because then your character kind of builds itself. But so for this 25 minutes, figure out what your character's zodiac sign is and run with it. And of course, because I got sidetracked figuring out what I said to an hour ago, I never actually did this thing right here. Oh my God, click. You know those moments where you're like, oh, I'm going to be all like fancy and click this really dainty like, and then figure it out. That's what just happened. Okay, so go ahead and start now.
Okay. We are back. Wait, am I muted still?
No.
Okay, now are we
We're
back?
Yeah. I mean, I can hear you.
Clay, I think you're muted.
What? No, I'm not.
No. Okay, try it again.
What's going on? So you can't hear me? I don't know why I'm even talking. That's dumb.
Okay, try it again. What is going on?
We have sound.
You are totally muted still, and I cannot figure out why. All right,
No, we're
I'm gonna
not.
pop the technical difficulties
We're not.
thing up for a minute.
It's okay. I'm texting her right now. Hopefully she gets my text. In the meantime,
I'm gonna look at my phone. Okay, hang on.
Well, on that 25 minutes, we're just gonna keep going until she hopefully reads my text.
We're not muted.
We're not
I'm muted. We're not muted.
I don't know why.
So why can't I hear you then?
I don't know. This show has been a blast. We are gonna keep going. Don't think that was me saying that.
I'm taking us back to the tip break. What did I do?
I wish I had something that I could talk to you guys about by myself while she figures this out. I have many things to talk to you about. Oh,
I'm back. You're
you
back.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
sorry.
That was really awkward for me. And like the best part about that is, I check on my phone because I've got it streaming on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I check on my phone to make sure we have sound. And it's just you saying, I can't hear you. Why isn't this working? Why are we muted? While I'm saying, no, you can hear me. I'm here. Yeah. And then I'm like talking to the camera, like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey, hope you're doing well.
Yep. No, that's it. That's embarrassing. That's terrible and horrible. If you're watching this, I'd like to say that doesn't happen to us, but it's probably going to happen to us more than once. Yeah.
It'll happen to us constantly.
Constantly. Yes.
That's what we get for biting off way
Way
more
too.
than we could ever possibly chew.
Yes.
Production wise. We could have just been like streaming our Google Hangout, whatever. But no, we have to do all of this.
This OBS magic.
This is who I am as a person. And somehow I coerced Sandy into actually doing it.
No, I think this was a joint effort. I think I'm like this with the technology and you're like this with the design. And you guys, if you're watching, that was just like a bad combination for us, but it looks beautiful when we get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's all just our own fault for not knowing what to talk about. How did you do on your word count?
Okay, let's see. I was at 122 before. 774. So good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually know this because of all the chaos with the last word count. I got 531.
Nice.
And in one of those beautiful moments of plotting but not actually plotting thoroughly and therefore like not knowing these characters going into it, I just opened a whole new drama that I didn't know was going to be a drama.
Hey, that's the fun of pantsing, isn't it?
I had like two non-characters that the hosts, because I'm doing a reality show for my story, and so there's the hosts, the people who just like walk around talking to the contestants, and are just supposed to be like the rays of sunshine.
Yes.
Not the Jeff Probst host, but the like the Great British Bake Off hosts. And now it turns out that there's like a whole bunch of drama between one of my hosts and my main character.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like this could be like massive problems later on, but I'm okay with that because I've been having issues with bringing the drama in. Yeah.
I'm bringing the drama in with Christmas casseroles right now. I'm
So, what are your Christmas casseroles? Are they like for real? Like, are they doing like
yeah.
broccoli casserole, or is this some of that like crazy like Kaylin reacts marshmallow casserole nonsense?
All right, so Snow, my main character, is like totally killing an amazing baked butternut squash and cheese polenta casserole.
Oh, okay. So these are legit
They
casseroles.
are.
Awesome.
Frost, my main hero, is like destroying cheesy potatoes.
Oh, so he's doing well.
He's doing terrible.
Or
He's
oh,
burning
I'm
them.
sorry. I work with a bunch of millennials, so I'm used to destroying being a positive
Oh, no,
word.
no, no. This is destroying, like, not like kill it, destroy it. This is
Right.
like burn it, destroy
Yeah.
it. Um,
I so just so you know, I love the fact that he's the adorable screw up and like he is trying so hard to like do well and he's so like happy, but he's messing everything up.
he's totally, he's, I mean, I think he picked a Nerf gun, right, for his Santa gift. That thing went over very well. He was
I thought
good at
it
that
was like the
competition.
second to last thing picked.
It was.
It's not going over well. As somebody who is the queen of white elephants, like that was bad.
And I suppose you think the candle in the pot was bad too?
I mean, it was bad.
It's terrible.
I thought that was the point. Was it not supposed to be bad? Because
No,
I thought
it was totally supposed to be bad, yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
I thought it would be kind of fun to make my like grouchy character really good at like Christmas casseroles and such and make my like cheery happy character sort of like awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got like right now I've got an ex-soccer player who's like really good at decorating cakes, but he's also kind of terrible at baking.
Is he?
Where does that come from? You haven't seen him bake yet.
But he can make candy.
He can, because he's a great decorator and like he's like good at like the candy side of things.
Oh.
But he's kind of a terrible baker. I feel like I made a reference to that in what you've read, but it probably would have been just like some random throwaway comment.
I might have not have absorbed it because I figure if you can make candy canes, then you're like a savant at all things baking.
Right. And that, like, this comment would have been before the candy cane thing. He was just kind of happy about the format where some of it was going to be crafting because it's going to hide the fact that he kind of sucks at some things that he wishes he was better at before doing this stuff. But no, I love the lovable screw up character, and I'm glad that you're writing that. I love a character who is like legitimately doing the best they can, and just like they're just not good.
I'm gonna give him some talent. I think.
It'll come around.
He's totally gonna rock this. Just
Yeah.
like casseroles aren't his thing, obviously, because anybody who can screw up cheesy potatoes, guys, if you can screw up cheesy potatoes, you should stick to bringing rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Cheesy potatoes aren't that hard.
Oh my god, it's 5 o'clock already.
It's 5.
Oh, right, we have technical difficulty.
Yes. Okay, so we better get wait, what did we do for this one?
I have no clue.
I wrote down something I can't read now. Blizzard?
You give me a couple letters.
I can't read the first letter. I think it's a B.
B.
B-R? Be red? No, it's not. Bread?
What's the last? Oh no, that's not gonna work.
Well, let's just see it. I put it in the actual
Okay, so
program.
our script for this time is a surprise.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, break something shiny. Ah,
Oh, right.
not bread. Break. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
That is really close Gross.
Super close to bread.
Yeah, and again, we're starting a minute late. We're just gonna pretend that we started this episode a minute late, and so everything is actually getting paced properly. It's not. We're just messing everything up. So you can go ahead and start writing now.
Okay.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta count up my words.
I think I got exactly 600.
Nice.
Something like that. Yeah. And I had drama,
814.
and I'm happy because I needed some drama.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, this is good for me too. I'm at, although this I have a significant amount still to write in this chapter, but 814.
I've been doing, so your opinion on this. I have been doing all of my chapters as being two scenes, one from her perspective and one from oh God, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked by an email and forgot my words. One from his perspective. And now I think that this next chapter, like I've just finished her section, and hers is like her scene is already really long. So I think I might just post her scene as the entire chapter. I'm normally really neurotic about my scene to chapter ratio. How do you feel about that?
I'm more neurotic about the length of the chapter. Like I feel like chapters ought to be a fairly consistent length regardless of how many scenes they are. So, and I don't mean consistent as in like every chapter has to be 3,000 words, but like within 500 or 600 words. I think for you though, is it really the scenes, the number of scenes, or is it that like you feel like if he talks, she has to talk? Because I think you can fix that.
That is absolutely what it is, but I think that breaks down to scenes for me.
But you, I mean, for this, so you know, you've been even with them up until now. So give her a chapter and then give him a full chapter, and then go back to even. It'll be fine.
It'll work for like what we're doing right here, or for what I'm doing right here. But yeah, I don't know. In general, I'm pretty neurotic about it.
But I think that's good because it's the worst thing when you read a romance and it's like, you know, 75% her perspective, and then he gets like a scene every now and then.
Ooh.
Oh.
So there's that issue too. And that does bother me. It bothers me when like all of the scenes that like are not related to their romance necessarily, like all of the outside plot scenes come from one person's perspective. It feels lazy to me.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good opportunity to develop both characters, but instead the writer chose to only develop one character. So I stick really hard to that bouncing back and forth when I write anyways. But like even if I didn't do it, I still like even if I am putting 2 or 3 scenes for one character next to each other, I always make sure that I get enough from the other character's perspective for balance.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing, and I think that you're right. I think it is kind of lazy to just do like a little tiny bit from one character's perspective. And it's like so unfortunate because it's always the guy who gets the short end of the stick, right? Like we give the female character this like enormous storyline because, you know, it's her show or whatever. And then like, you know, we talk to him for a few minutes, mostly like, you know, and then like the most sexual moments because like maybe she just can't describe everything that's going on. But it's this is, I mean, okay, so it's nice to know how he felt about kissing her, but like also what else do we care about him for? Because
I wonder, like you said, it's all her show, and I wonder if that is why I'm a little stronger with the balance, because my stories tend to be more his show.
Yeah.
Like, the person that has the more interesting outside life is definitely him for me.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Like that is definitely like the 2 of mine that you have read. And like the one that I did for Nano, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but they both have serious stuff going on in their lives. Hers is like wacky out of control in comparison to his.
Mm.
But he's ultimately the one who gets the resolution at the end of the day. Like their plot together is going to keep going, but her plot like does not. It's his that signals the end of that book, because it's him accepting his role in his family, which will ultimately allow them to deal with her issues. So I think that might be part of it, is if you focus too much on like what's going on with the girl's life, then you're never gonna get that balance right. But I think it's lazy to go with that 75% instead of going with either 50% or 100%.
Yes, I agree. Like you can,
if it's not equal roles, then I want it to be all of one person's perspective. And either way, that 75 is being lazy, because it also means that like the scenes that were difficult for you to write from her perspective, you just copped out and did them from his perspective.
yeah, exactly. And that's how it always feels, right? Like, oh, okay, so basically we switched to him because we didn't know what to do with her anymore.
Yeah.
Or like, it's also, I don't know.
Or
so
like, hey, I can't do this plot with her because she's like sleeping right now, so I'm gonna skip to him.
Yeah.
And that, unless it's like that's a device that can be very well done, especially if you're in like a mystery scenario where you like every 10 chapters or whatever you have that little snippet from the villain. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but because snippets are different, right? That's like a side story that you're telling. When you've got like a main story between two characters, you don't want to just like you don't want to get to a point where the plot is hard, or like you can't come up with some tension, or like you need to tell a secret, but you don't know how to do it because she's not supposed to know it. Then, I mean, come on, like, and it's such a wasted opportunity, like you said, for developing character. Plus, I don't know, I feel so sad about leaving out my male characters because they can be so delicious, you know? Like, you can do so much with your male character in terms of, like, describing your female character or your love interest. Right? Like,
yes.
He could like be all over like her like, you know, he could like every body part. He can be like drooling. He can be totally falling apart and like trying to keep it together.
Is it weird for you to find out, like, based on what you've read from me, that is not at all my favorite part of writing the man?
Okay, wait, let me think about this. So what would you like about writing the man?
I can take or leave writing the sex from his perspective.
Oh, but I don't just mean the sex. I mean like the attraction.
Well,
like
all of that. Like, that's none of that. Like the whole, like, seeing her from his perspective. I could take or leave that.
Really? So what's your favorite part with him?
Making him vulnerable. I really I like to have that, like, super, and I feel like when I say this, it's gonna make sense for you because you've read my stuff. I love to have an alpha male who's not actually an alpha. Or does not consider himself an alpha. Somebody, like, I like a faker. Whether he's faking it or not, I want him to have, like, some, like, not just like a character flaw, but something like so integral to his being that there's no way he can ever think of himself as being an alpha, even if he is absolutely 100%, like, in the scenes coming from her perspective, there's absolutely no doubt that he's an alpha.
Yeah, no, you know what? Okay, so I agree with you though. That is fun, and I mean, as you know, I like screw up characters as well. I suppose they're not necessarily alpha characters because I like a more even power balance. But yeah, it is. Yes, it is fun to hear your male character lament about what he sucks at. Oh, damn, these cheesy potatoes are terrible. I literally just wrote that.
Yes. Wait, is he upset about his cheesy potatoes? Because I don't picture him as somebody who gets upset about stuff like that. I feel like he's like, I am going to nail these cheesy potatoes next time around.
I think,
or I did the best I could with my cheesy potatoes, and I'm proud of them, even if the cheese is congealed.
I think he's no, I think he just hates casseroles a little bit. So I mean, his potatoes are disgustingly undercooked, and yet somehow the bottom of the dish is burnt. I mean,
that's really easy to do with potatoes, actually. Now
so easy.
How he messed up the cheesy potatoes. I get it. Like that's no longer a how would you do that. It's more like, oh, how would you prevent that from happening now? And I know it's sauce and a good oven temperature, but
it's
we're not here to talk about making cheesy potatoes.
Well,
we're here to talk about writing.
Yeah, but I mean, so this is a fun thing because this character loves Christmas and hates when he screws something up and never gets enough Christmas. So like this is like he loves casseroles. He just screwed up his casserole and this is horrible, you know. But I don't think he's the kind of person who's gonna like weep over it. Like,
no,
it's cheesy potatoes. He's like, I'm definitely going down, and I don't like casseroles, but I'm gonna be okay. So
are you having a scenario where like he's going to get kicked out, and then by dumb luck somebody messes up their potatoes even worse?
I'm not having a scenario where by dumb luck somebody messes up the potatoes. I'm having a scenario.
Sabotage.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know if the viewers know this, but we are both about the same age. And I feel like we are both absolutely at that age where when you hear the word sabotage, you immediately have to say it, sabotage, because we grew up with the Beastie Boys.
No, okay, no, but I was not a Beastie Boy fan. I wouldn't do it that way.
Sabotage like 850 million times.
Yeah, but I wasn't cool enough to like be able to say it myself. I know. This is because you're a music person, right?
Yes.
You like do concerts, so of course you do.
Yes. I sing a lot. My life is a musical.
I also
mean, only in the most literal sense that we constantly sing.
Yeah, but I think like okay, so yes, we are about the same age, but I was like Mariah Carey.
Oh, gross.
So see, this explains a lot, doesn't it? Like,
so today at work, I'm sorry guys that we're not talking about writing at all. But today at work, on the work radio station, we're gonna start this war in like 45 seconds. I'm just gonna tell the story. So we have like some Christmas music playing, mixed in with like regular music, and All I Want for Christmas Is You started playing. And the thing is that because I am old, but I swim in millennials, like whenever I hear stuff like that, like I always attach it to memes. So every time I hear All I Want for Christmas Is You, I think of either goth kids dancing or Childish Gambino's This Is America, because those were two really great mashups with that song. But then it turned out it wasn't the Mariah Carey version. I was like, oh, this doesn't work for me. Because it only works if it's the Mariah Carey version. And then my coworker pointed out that it was CeeLo Green performing it. And then I was like, oh, well, I can use the video for Forget You to go along with this. And then I was happy again.
No. Oh, no. We need to start. What? I see. I'm dancing around All I Want for Christmas Is You, and you've just ruined it with CeeLo. We need to get to our writing war.
Like Mariah Carey's version of it.
I love that one.
Performing it, and think about like how peppy. Did you ever see the video for that song?
Right now I have a mashup of All I Want for Christmas Is You with that, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Forget You song.
It was like it fit perfectly with that video because the video had that like 60s, 70s, whatever vibe going on with it. Arguably a much better mashup than Childish Gambino. Although if you've never seen that one, you really should, because that crazy dancing that they're doing in it like matches perfectly with it, even with all the like social atrocities going on in the background.
No, I'm gonna look this all up, and if it does not go, all I want for Christmas is forget you and forget
Oh,
you too.
oh no, I just made that all up in my
Oh,
brain.
you
The
did?
CeeLo Green part of it. I mean, not that he was
That would be
performing it, like he
perfect.
was actually performing it, but like the mashup I made in my own
It's a
brain.
good mashup. We need to write. We
We
should
do,
definitely
we
do
do.
the
I lied
writing.
when I said 45 seconds and it's been 2 minutes. So we are writing for 10 minutes. I have no idea what our prompt is.
It's jingly. Make something jingly.
Oh no. Okay. If you're viewing
Ah,
home, there is a reason why I reacted that way, and it's terrible. And I will never share it with you. But just know
never.
that this moment will live in infamy between us. Start now.
Okay. We are through.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'm count up my words here. This is a good session.
I don't know. I got like 200, I think. I have a grand total of 1796, and I started with 200 and change. So, yeah, I feel good about that.
That is good.
I needed it because I've been drag-assing.
Yeah, no, I also have, that was like 207 for me, so I also have like 1887 total here. So that's,
excellent.
Yeah, that's almost all of the chapter, which will probably be posted sometime later today. This is hard to keep up with, though. Like, if somebody at home is watching this is surprisingly difficult to do. Like, you don't realize it's going to be hard, but posting a chapter every day.
Oh, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even every other day, it's difficult.
Yeah. It's, I feel like there's, like, you really, like, that editing limitation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't edit when I write, but I still, like, there are all kinds of little things that I hate myself for publishing before I get, like, a couple chapters into the future. But also it's forcing me to keep going, and I like that.
Yeah, it's a real challenge, and it takes more time, right? So you finish the chapter, then you got to go back and make sure that at the very least it's spelled right, or somebody might actually leave you a comment about it.
Because I don't do that. But
I actually totally do. And like one of the few comments that I have gotten is a like, oh, I hope you don't mind, but you have a like problem in your story. It was like a one-word typo.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was meant well.
I feel self-conscious, like I should be doing that with mine. I'm not.
I don't think you have to worry about it. First of all, because if it's really bad, either somebody will tell you or they won't care.
Yeah.
And second, you can edit later, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
Ooh, I messed up our next sprint box here. Man, I'm not on top of this at all.
We're not sprinting anymore. We're done.
No. Yes, our next sprint is the 17th. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So if you're watching this from the future, come join us on the 17th, and we'll do it again. And it'll be fun.
Join us. It's
fun.
Yeah. Talk to us. We'll talk back to you.
We might.
Yeah, you can like be a part of our show, but through like a text box. But I promise you, we like comments, and we wish we had them.
Yes. Although we're probably going to keep doing this even if we don't have them. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It forces us to
be productive.
Do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so that's the end of our show for today.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we should say goodbye.
Sign off. I'm sorry, I am delirious. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. And I'm old enough that like kills me.
We're to close this down then. If you are with us, thank you, goodbye, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
All right, bye.